A special edition of the CBS Evening News from the Democratic National Convention. What we're learning about President Biden's speech as he aims to pass the torch to his vice president, less than a month after shaking up the race for the White House. Chicago prepares for thousands of protesters as Americans react to the Harris campaign, now narrowly leading in new polls.
I think that the Democrats should have to earn our votes.
We have to now look forward. The energy is here.
Plus, our exclusive interview with former President Donald Trump. The CBS Evening News from Chicago starts now. The Windy City is abuzz for a historic week here in Chicago. Good evening. I'm Norah O'Donnell, and thank you for being with us as the Democratic National Convention gets underway. Former and future leaders of the party are here to honor the past, but celebrate the future, following one of Harris's campaign slogans, "We're not going back." Now, tonight is about the current president, Joe Biden. The party is expected to say thank you and honor his legacy less than a month after he dropped out of the race. In just hours, Joe Biden will give tonight's keynote address. Former President Donald Trump is hoping to draw attention away from right here at the DNC with a rally in Pennsylvania. And CBS News spoke with Trump this afternoon in an exclusive interview, so we'll have some of that for you in just a moment. But there's breaking news with riot police outside the United Center after pro-Palestinian protesters broke through security barriers right here at the convention. We have team coverage of the convention, and CBS's Ed O'Keefe will start us off.
Day one of the Democratic National Convention brought long lines and thousands of energized delegates ready to kick off a historic week.
We can hardly contain ourselves. I can hardly contain myself.
What I'm looking for now is the world's biggest pep rally.
Kamala Harris's campaign is riding a wave of momentum into this lakeside city, with a new CBS News poll showing the vice president with a 3-point edge nationally and leveling the playing field in key battleground states, though she's trying to temper expectations.
I very much consider us the underdog. We have a lot of work to do to earn the vote of the American people.
Harris and her running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, are fresh off a weekend bus tour across western Pennsylvania, part of the blue wall of swing states Democrats are counting on for victory.
The blue wall is solid, people. The blue wall is solid.
But former President Donald Trump is also zeroing in on the Keystone State, appearing today for the second time since Saturday, as Republicans race to define Harris on their own increasingly harsh terms.
Kamala puts America last. I put America first.
Back in Chicago, thousands of pro-Palestinian protesters, unhappy with the Biden administration's handling of the war in Gaza, marched near the convention site. CBS's Lilia Luciano was there.
Chicago police officers are trained on de-escalation. It's what we are seeing happen here. Dozens and dozens of them in riot gear who showed up to clear this park after protesters breached the security fence that was meant to keep protesters away from where the delegates are.
And inside the arena tonight, a celebration of the outgoing president. Joe Biden and the First Lady scoped out the podium where they'll speak and where he'll pass the torch to Harris. Just under a month ago, President Biden was still the presumptive nominee until his historic decision to withdraw. Many in the hall tonight are among the Democratic leaders who pushed him to go, allowing Harris to quickly consolidate the party. Delaware Senator Chris Coons, a longtime confidant of the president, admits this isn't how it was supposed to end.
How hard do you think it is for him to go out this way, knowing that this was all being organized for him originally?
This was his choice. He always was clear-eyed that the most important thing he could do was to make sure that Donald Trump isn't reelected.
Things are just getting underway. Also speaking tonight, former Secretary of State Hillary Rodham Clinton. Her appearance perhaps a cautionary tale and reminder to Democrats. After all, 8 years ago this summer, she was leading or even in national and battleground state polls, only to lose to Trump in November. Nora?
An important point, Ed O'Keefe from the convention floor. Ed, thank you very much. I want to bring in our chief White House correspondent, CBS's Nancy Cordes. And Nancy, this convention was supposed to be Biden's big party, but after tonight, we're not going to hear from the president. Is that a deliberate strategy?
Absolutely, Laura. In fact, it's kind of reminiscent of that tradition where outgoing presidents greet the president-elect on Inauguration Day, but then fly off on Marine One before the new president is sworn in.
You want to give the new president, or in this case, the new nominee, their moment in the sun. You want to give the party the opportunity to rally around her without looking in the rearview mirror. Now, that doesn't mean he's going to be out of sight the next 3 months. President Biden has promised to campaign for Harris, but this is a crucial 4 days for the country to get to know Kamala Harris, and President Biden has decided to keep a low profile after tonight.